We seem to have some sort of a hydraulic oil mystery on our combine. As you check this, the level here at this sight gauge, you see there's no oil in it. And I've already put 2.5 gallons in, and I'm fixing to put in another 2.5 gallons, so we'll see what happens.
We started this channel to share our love of agriculture, to show you what we do every day at our full-time farming jobs and on our own little ranch. I hope you enjoy it.
Well, obviously losing 5 gallons of hydraulic oil is a symptom of a much bigger problem. So we got to looking and found this mess right here, just oil all over everything. And as it turns out, on this valve body here, there's a O-ring right behind this piece right here in that groove. I took the O-ring out, it looked okay, but it was definitely leaking out of there, so I can't think of any other reason it would have been leaking. So we're gonna run to town and see if we can find an O-ring that fits this perfectly and see if that solves the problem. Hopefully it will. We got that new O-ring installed, and I'll be darned if it isn't still leaking. So I guess we're just going to turn off the automatic contour master control for today and run without it and see what happens. It seems that it only leaks when the contour master is tilting the head to the right or the left to follow the contours of the ground. So we're just going to disable that function for today, try to get some corn out, and maybe see if we can do some troubleshooting on it tomorrow and figure out what's up. Well, as you can see, there definitely wasn't any wind yesterday to keep the combine clean. This thing looks like an advertisement for Pirates of the Midwest, Rise of the John Deere. And the stock quality is just terrible on this corn that we're combining right now, and the dust from these nasty stalks. This combine is just a filthy pig this morning. This thing is a field fire waiting to happen. Well, so far so good. We've been checking periodically and the hydraulic valve is not leaking. So at least for a temporary fix, having that automatic contour master shut off seems to be working. Well guys, bad news. I just pulled the combine in the shed, and sometime in the last couple hours it started leaking again, and pretty badly, because it was at least 2.5 gallons low on hydraulic oil when I parked it tonight. So it'll be back to the drawing board tomorrow. Well, it seems what's happened is the entire valve body block is going to have to be replaced. It's this black rectangular block that you see here. It's developed a crack in between a couple of the valve ports. So this whole thing here is going to have to be replaced. We're going to have to pull all those valves and solenoids out and swap them over to the new block. But fortunately, one of the dealerships an hour away has one, so we're going to run and grab it. Well, getting it off the combine wasn't that big of a deal, but now the real work starts back on the bench in the shop. We've got to swap all of these parts off this block over to the new block. So we take a lot of pictures before we start and move one part over at a time. Hopefully soon this block will look exactly like this block. So, time to get to work. Well, after a couple hours of open heart surgery, we've got all the pieces off the old one and on the new one, so we're ready to put this new valve body into the combine. You know how sometimes an organ recipient's body rejects the transplant? Well, the combine is really unhappy about something right now. But we weren't using the lateral tilt yesterday, so we'll just leave it shut off today, try to get some corn out, and do some troubleshooting tomorrow. Hey guys, guess what else also operates off this valve body? The unloading auger, extension and retraction. So now we've got corn in the hopper, and we can't swing the unload auger out to unload it. So we're stopped again in diagnostics mode. And hopefully we can get this sorted out. Well, it's getting dark. We've tried everything we can think of to try. We've checked the electrical connections multiple times. We've called service technicians, gotten advice from them, unhooked computers, hooked computers back up, restarted multiple times. We've started loosening some of the hydraulic fittings to try to let air out of the system. We can't seem to get any air out really. We just get a bunch of oil.
we're kind of at the point of admitting defeat here. We're gonna have to get a service technician to come out in the morning. Hopefully we can get one pretty early and see if we can figure out what's going on. I'm on the way to the field. We got kind of lucky. We have a John Deere service technician that lives pretty close to the field where the combine's parked. So he's just gonna stop by on his way to work this morning and see if we can get this hydraulic issue worked out. Really hopeful that we're gonna have a good, easy repair this morning.
And just like that, we are back in business.
Well, we got the combine fixed. It was pretty easy for the guy with the brains. It's kind of embarrassing. As it turns out, there were 3 little check valves that were deep inside the old valve body, and they needed to come out and go into the new one, and we didn't see them when we were switching all the parts over. And so that was just letting all the oil flow right through the internal components of that new valve body and could not build enough pressure to do anything. So once he got those switched over, it took about 10 minutes and we were up and rolling. That's what you get with farmer mechanics.